Hey, what's up guys, TechTitan here, and this is basically the Devil Advocates video in regards to the Moto G5G. I made a video where I talked about the 2025 Moto G5G's pros, but this time we really have to focus on the cons of this phone. And there's one major con that I really hate about this phone, but I'll work my way up towards it. So the first thing that I want to discuss here is within the design itself. So while it still is a pretty good design, it's basically the same design from the previous generation. It didn't really change much from the material, from the looks. I guess it just gave us a larger footprint and basically a new camera module design. Other than that, it's the same design as last year, plastic and this vegan leather that is decent to grip, but when dust catches onto it, it becomes really hard to clean. So keep that in mind. The other thing that I really don't like about this phone is within the camera itself. So it still gave us a 50 megapixel main sensor, but it does lack a lot of things. First of all, it doesn't give us a ultra wide. We still have this crappy macro sensor that pretty much no one really uses. In addition to that, it limits us to shooting at 1080p, so no 4K video. And also, you don't really have any optical image stabilization. So these are things that kind of add up to making the camera experience, I don't want to say not really that good, but not as good as it should have been. So it's very similar to the previous generation in that regard as well. So the next thing that I want to discuss here is within the performance. Believe it or not, the single core on the 2025 Moto G5G is lower than the 24 model, which is kind of disappointing. Now you do get RAM boost, which does help a little bit in the performance, but here's what I've noticed. This phone does glitch from time to time, and I've seen it happen more often on this generation than the previous generation. I don't know if it's just my unit or not, but that's just been my experience. Gaming on here, lighter titles are alright, but when you step into heavier titles, it's gonna have a problem and it's gonna have issues. So keep that in mind. But that wasn't really that major problem. The real major problem here is within this phone's nasty display. So it only gives us a 720p panel in 2025, and I get that this phone is $200, but hear me out. The Galaxy A16 is $200, gives you 1080p, an OLED display, plus a 90 Hz refresh rate. Now this phone does give you a high refresh rate, but that all doesn't really matter because the display quality is just not it. I mean, it's IPS panel, which is, there's nothing wrong with the IPS panel, but when you give me a 720p, just standard HD, no, it makes this phone really hard to recommend. And that's really this phone's biggest letdown, is that it matches the previous generation's display. Ain't nothing changed in that regard. Okay, so overall though, I do want to again hear your guys' thoughts. I want to hear it from a user's perspective. If you have this phone and you have it as your major phone or your main phone, then let me know how you feel about it. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you think that it should have been 1080p? Can you tell the difference? So for the pros, did I enjoy using this phone? Yes, but the cons are also weighed in heavily here, which will be saved for the next video, so stay tuned for that. It's coming really soon. But from a pro's perspective, as far as using the phone on and off for the past 3 months, I didn't really have any major issues. It didn't really overheat, but I guess that's because I really didn't push the high tasks on it. And the RAM management and RAM boost is something that you can use to kind of improve your experience. And I do have to ask the question to the users of this phone that have been consistently using this phone as their main phone. What do you think about the 2025 Moto G? Do you think it's worth your while, or has it been a bad experience, good experience? Let me know in the comments below, and I will definitely catch you guys in the next one. Appreciate you all for watching. Stay tuned for the next part.